Hello, welcome back. I'm Statman Dave, and today I'm going to be looking at 5 players Manchester United should sign in January. Remember to subscribe if you're new, smash that like button, but before we get this party started, a message from the sponsor of this video. In a world where we spend a lot of time on the internet watching football content, it's more important than ever to be secure online and protect your data. That's where NordVPN comes in, a lot like a tough tackling midfielder. NordVPN screens your online presence by changing your IP address, stopping tricky hackers from stealing your data. And with more than 5,000 ultra-fast servers around the world, it doesn't matter where you are, NordVPN has your back, allowing you to stay protected on the go, changing your location and accessing geo-locked content. For example, you want to watch Match of the Day in America on iPlayer? Crack open NordVPN, switch your region to the UK, and you can watch Gary and the lads talk up Ralf Rangnicks' revolution at Old Trafford. And not only is NordVPN a major award winner, but it allows you to have 6 connections at once on just one account. And with its stealth capabilities, you can even use NordVPN in countries where VPNs are banned. So check the link in the description below and help support the channel. And for a special holiday season deal, go to nordvpn.com/StatmanDave or head over to their website and use the promo code StatmanDave to get a whopping 73% off a 2-year plan plus 1 additional month for free. But anyway, let's get this party started. Under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Manchester United had a couple of areas that needed attention. But with a change in manager and a new system, Ralf Rangnicks United has different areas with bodies needed to play in central midfield, a major target for the winter window. First up, Amadou Haidara. Linked with a move to United almost as soon as Rangnick got the job. Haidara is a true Red Bull midfielder that would slot into Manchester United's midfield. Energy and work rate are his standout attributes, but he's also technically very strong with an excellent level of tactical intelligence. He uses this tactical intelligence to offer balance to his side, often moving into less threatening positions to create holes in the opposition's shape. But if he isn't tracked and receives, his short, crisp passing allows him to either keep the ball moving and recycle possession or play good line-breaking passes to advanced teammates. He's also shown an ability to influence the play in the final third, when given a role with more freedom, like as a number 8 in a midfield 3 or in a midfield 2 alongside a defensive midfielder. Haidara makes late runs into the box, either surging to the back post to meet crosses or arriving late and receiving cutbacks. Without the ball, he's a tenacious ball winner that thrives when he's free to press high up the pitch. And this season, his 3.2 pressures per 90 is better than any Manchester United midfielder. What's more is Haidara is very versatile, with minutes in a midfield 3, as a wing-back in a back 5, and even as a full-back in a flat back 4. 23 years old with plenty of time to improve, but already versed in Ralf Rangnick's Red Bull style, Haidara would be a smart addition for 30 million. Next up is a potential bargain in Franck Kessie, a true box-to-box midfielder. I'd argue that Kessie is the second best in the world in this role after Leon Goretzka. With his contract expiring in the summer, the Milan man refusing to sign a new deal, Kessie could be available on the cheap, with the Italians looking to cash in before losing him on a free transfer. Kessie has developed into a very complete midfielder, a big physical presence in the middle of the pitch. Kessie blends power and strength with a lot of technical talent. He's very disciplined in possession and sticks to his task. Despite possessing a good passing range, Kessie generally keeps things short and simple, moving the ball around and giving great control to his side. But when the chance comes, he's got the ability and the talent to flip the tempo and play neat line-breaking passes or long switches of play. The midfielder is averaging 4 progressive passes per 90 in Serie A this season, but still completes nearly 92% of his passes. Comparing him to Manchester United's midfielders, he's very close to Fred, United's best statistical progressor. But Kessie is completing nearly 10% more of his passes. He's also a very competent ball carrier, and he's happy to make surging runs to escape pressure. Whilst he's very good in possession, he's also a great fit without it. Playing for a Milan side that aren't particularly high pressers, Kessie picks his moments to press and disrupt the play. He does this superbly and rarely loses out in tackles before he quickly moves the ball on. This particular part of his game would allow him to thrive in Rangnick's side as a sweeper alongside a more proactive aggressor like a Fred. Statistically, Kessie ranks first among Serie A midfielders in terms of pressure success rate this season, which suggests when he goes for the ball, his team wins possession. He's also got a goal in him. Occasionally he makes dangerous runs into the opponent's box to finish off moves. And in last season's Europa League, Kessie scored a banger of a volley with the outside of the boot against Manchester United, but it was disallowed because it brushed his hand. Still just 25 years old, Franck Kessie is on the cusp of being a top-tier player. He's had a lot of interest with deals falling through due to his high wage demands, but for a reported 150 grand per week and a relatively small transfer fee given his talent, Franck Kessie would be an excellent addition to Manchester United's midfield in the winter. Next up is a Statman Dave curveball, Edison Alvarez. I've watched a lot of Erik ten Hag's Ajax this season and Alvarez gets my seal of approval. A really great player, standing at around 6'2", Alvarez is a surprisingly elegant footballer. He's got a very similar skill set to Rodri. He's more mobile than the City man, but his strengths also lie in his technical ability and ability to read the game. He's integral to Ten Hag's fluid system, as he needs to be ready to provide cover to wherever on the pitch with players interchanging positions. Despite the huge task, Alvarez excels and almost always seems to know where he's needed most, and seemingly to move before the ball needs regaining, which says a lot about his reading of play. His long legs means that when he commits a challenge, he usually gets the ball, as he's able to basically reach around the player and knock the ball away. But if he overcommits and knows he's going to get caught out instead of accepting, he commits a foul and stops the attack. However, playing in the Ajax team that averages nearly 70% possession this season means that you've got to be pretty good on the ball, and Alvarez isn't a letdown. The Mexican has a very impressive passing range, capable of playing every pass you'd want from your defensive midfielder, from short and simple passes to zipped line breakers into the forwards and even diagonal switches of play. But what really stands out is his ability to find space and play through balls in the final third. Due to his position in the team, Alvarez is often a spare man in possession in the final third. He did this superbly in Ajax's 5-0 win over PSV this season, receiving off Antony and slipping in a perfectly weighted through ball for Gravenberch to cross. Unfortunately, the defender put it out for a corner, but such a lovely play from one of the most offensive players in the team. Whilst it might take Alvarez a few months to adapt to the fast-paced Premier League, it'd be well worth the wait. The Mexican is just 24 years old, with plenty of time to grow and improve as a defensive midfielder. But even if he can just maintain his current level, he'd still be an excellent addition to play a more holding role. What's more is that if Ten Hag really is at the top of United's list to be their next permanent manager, he'd already have a midfielder in the football club schooled in how he wants to play football. Fourth is a player that we've already talked about before on this channel in this video. Leeds United's Kalvin Phillips. According to reports, Rangnick has identified Phillips as a potential target to strengthen the midfield. In terms of Premier League ready, high-intensity midfielders that could be signed, you won't find any better than Phillips. He's a wonderful footballer that combines great physical skills like strength and stamina with a playmaker's range of passing and superb understanding of the game. Largely playing as a single pivot for Marcelo Bielsa, Phillips has to cover a lot of ground, both vertically as he tracks his own marker and Bielsa's man-to-man scheme, and horizontally as he also has to cover the wide areas in the transition. Meanwhile, in possession, Phillips orchestrates the play for Leeds and always shows for the pass. If he's got a marker, he'll keep the ball moving with crisp passes, but if he can receive in space, he can look to turn and play forward. His standout attribute in possession is his long passing and switches of play, crucial to Bielsa's positional play. He also uses his long passes in positive transitions, as he launches counterattacks by picking out forwards looking to break away. Statistically, Phillips is unlike anything in the United squad. In the Premier League last season, he averaged 4 switches per 90 and 11.9 long passes, which is more than any other player in the United first team. But to go with the impressive passing numbers, Phillips is a defensive monster that's very committed in the tackle. Per 90 over the past year, Phillips ranks in the top 5% of midfielders for pressures, successful pressures, ball recoveries, whilst he's in the top 14% for tackles plus interceptions and the top 10% for blocks, but also the top 11% for clearances. Basically, if there's a metric to measure the defensive output, Kalvin Phillips is near the top. His performances in Bielsa's crazy system suggest he'd adapt seamlessly to Rangnick's Red Bull football, whilst his non-stop running in a box-to-box role for England at the Euros shows he doesn't have to play in defensive midfield to perform. What's more is that Phillips would address United's problems at defensive midfield while still fitting in the current system. And last but not least, the other player Ralf Rangnick identified as a midfield target, Jude Bellingham. Whilst he might not come cheap or even in January, Bellingham is already a star midfielder that's built an excellent relationship already with Jadon Sancho in the Bundesliga. The duo combined superbly with a 1-2 and underlap, combining to allow Bellingham to pick out Haaland at the back post. Bringing Bellingham to United might not just add a star for the future, but it also could get even more out of Jadon Sancho. The 18-year-old is already a very complete midfielder. So far, for Borussia Dortmund, he's played in a double pivot, on the right wing, on the left wing as an inverted winger, as a number 10, as a wide midfielder and a diamond, and in a midfield 3 as a number 8. The latter is arguably his best position, where he's given the freedom to join the forwards when attacking, but also have the ability to leave his position and press and make challenges. For all Bellingham's technical ability, it's his work rate that really makes him truly special. In terms of technique, he can do it all, being a man in the dribble, spotting and executing passes to scoring goals. He's also got the temperament and mentality to play at the very top, with incredible levels of composure, determination and tenacity. For a player with such a gift for attacking, you could excuse Bellingham for cutting corners and not doing defensive stuff, but actually it's the opposite. He's averaging 20 challenges per game for Dortmund this season. To put that into perspective, in the Premier League, Højbjerg is averaging 14, Rice is averaging 13 and N'Golo Kante is averaging 12. And he's doing it on the big stage. He's got as many goal involvements in the Champions League as he did from the Championship, and his season high of 27 challenges came against Bayern Munich in a game where he got 2 assists. The first started with Guerrero in possession. It goes down the line to Bellingham, who turns and chops inside before picking out Julian Brandt with an inch-perfect pass over the top of the Bayern defence. Brandt controls, escapes Davies and smashes the ball past Manuel Neuer. The second starts with Akanji in possession. He goes down the line to Meunier, who plays a lovely 1-2 with Brandt, crossing first time. His cross misses everyone and Upamecano fails to control as Bellingham recovers, feints, shifts it to Haaland, who curls it into the far post. These are 2 very different assists, but highlight the variation and talent in his locker. For Manchester United, he could play anywhere under Rangnick. He's got the work rate and tenacity to play in the deepest 2, whilst he's got the creativity and technical ability to play as an interior. But more than likely, we'd see a shift to a diamond, giving Bellingham the freedom to roam. With a reported price tag of £100 million, Dortmund might be asking a lot for the teenager. But with a number of elite level performances in the Champions League, it's clear that Bellingham is destined for greatness. But anyway guys, what do you think? Who should Manchester United sign in January? Let me know in the comments below. Of course, check out NordVPN and use the code StatmanDave to get that banging discount. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, why not check out some more content on the Statman Dave YouTube channel.